Well, this week, the Minnesota House passed a bill that would make it illegal to discriminate against someone because of their hair.
The House.
Look, man, not for nothing, man. I don't ever, one time, and I'm not talking about like, I saw it here and there, or I heard about it, or I don't ever remember one time when I was going to school, even in the 80s, in the 90s, someone, a sun person, being told that they couldn't wear their hair in a certain style. I never, ever heard it. Never. This was back in the day. You had Gumbies, you had high top fades. Dude, some people had rat tails. The girls had the what do they call it? The asymmetrical hairstyles. The French buns. The frizzy. I mean, the dudes had cornrows and plaits and dreads. I never once heard anybody even talk about, man, they told me I can't wear. I just wanted to let you, because a lot of people aren't in the community. And they don't know. They were like, this is appalling. I'd never heard of this. And if you're a Sun person, tell me. I just don't have these memories.
Well, this week, the Minnesota House passed a bill that would make it illegal to discriminate against someone because of their hair.
The House passed the same legislation in 2020, but it stalled in the Senate. Advocates of the bill hope that this year will be different.
I had a natural curly fro growing up, and then as I got older, got braids, and then right before I got to college, I grew my dreads out.
Long?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what happened to all of us. Like, I had all of that. Right. And nobody ever said nothing. Only people that ever said something was other Sun people while we were joning, or whatever you call it, roasting each other, whatever. That was the only time I ever heard anything bad about my hair from another Sun person. Ever.
I had a natural curly fro growing up, and then as I got older, got braids, and then right before I got to college, I grew my dreads out.
Long, natural locks. This has been a signature hairstyle for 31-year-old Vachel Hudson for years. He takes pride in his appearance, which has drawn some scrutiny.
Just being black in America sometimes, having dreads in general, someone might see me as a thug.
Someone might see me as a thug. Let's break that down. Someone. Vague. Might. Even more an assumption. See. Not act. Not stop you from doing anything. Not impede your progress, but see. You as a thug. This brother's projecting heavy. He's projecting a lot onto someone and what they might see. That people are irritated. When I tell you people, this irritates people. They don't say anything. They're not going to talk about it, but it's just another log on the fire. We are irritating. God, we are irritating.
Just being black in America sometimes, having dreads in general, someone might see me as a thug.
It wasn't until he began a career in the financial industry that he says he started to feel judged by how he looked. And then came the talk.
He started to feel judged. By who? He's a normal looking brother. Where is somebody looking at this brother and judging him?
And then came the talk.
I decided to cut my hair after the encouragement of supervisors, folks saying, Rachel, you're handsome. You'll be much more cleaner. You'll be much more nice looking. You'll be much more successful.
So we're assuming that the supervisors are gliders. Because the news station wouldn't be down here. Those glider supervisors told him he was handsome. And he will be much more successful for the career he's chosen if he cut his hair in the financial world. Sounds like they was trying to help him. And I know they were they racked their brains, they gnashed their teeth for probably maybe years to try to build up the fortitude to approach him about it, because they probably saw it was maybe not holding him back because he's in the world, but maybe they just wanted to help him be all he could be, like max out on his potential. Like, yeah, you can have dreads and everything, and and whatever, but if you really, really want to go through it, we're not saying get a conch and come in looking like Ted Koppel. We're saying wear your natural hair, just shorter. And it's just a suggestion. Like, you're not fired, but, hey, man, we've been working with you for years side by side every day. Guess we got some rapport. Hey, man, you know what? Like, think about it. You're on a trash truck. And there's a guy who's been on a trash truck for years, and he tells you, "Hey, man, when you get those trash cans, pull them both out at the same time, pick them up, dump them, set them back instead of going back, getting one, and then going back to the sidewalk and getting the other one. Pull both of them to the truck, dump both of them, and set them to the side. It makes it faster. Just giving you a tip." Like, think about if he was a lawyer and another lawyer who was older, like, yo, man, hey, the judges here, they're big on appearance. I see you wearing, you just wear a collared shirt open with no tie. Man, come in here with a tie, man, and a suit, man. It'll change the way the judge. It's just the way it is, bro. Like, if it's a barber and another older barber was like, "Hey, man, use this guard when you're doing the shape up because it gets a nice line. It puts a nice line on their hair, and then spray it afterward with the Beijing and put the." I'm just trying to help you out, man. I see you over there. You're a good barber, but here's how you can be better. some people are irritating, man. You can't even help them.
And then came the talk.
I decided to cut my hair after the encouragement of supervisors, folks saying, Rachel, you're handsome. You'll be much more cleaner. You'll be much more nice looking. You'll be much more successful.
Hair is still being debated, I think, in legal circles.
Representative Esther Agbaje describes what Hudson experienced as a form of hair discrimination.
Throughout history, sometimes it's been seen as messy or unkempt, which then continues to add to the negative stereotypes that people have about Black people, particularly in America.
So you're telling me if he came in looking like Chad Wheeler, who just had the long, if he was a glider with just long hair down, down to his back. None of the gliders would have came to, hey man, you doing a great job here, man. You obviously work here, you haven't been fired, you're in good standing. Man, we think you soar, you do so much better in this financial field if you didn't look like a punk rocker. If you didn't look like someone trying to live their second childhood. If you look clean cut and straight laced, man. It's just the way it is, man. Are they saying that that wouldn't happen? That a glider would just be walking into the financial world with his hair. You even got gliders with dreadlocks. They put the beeswax in there and the dreads up. They wouldn't say anything to a glider about that. It's only because he's Sunman.
Throughout history, sometimes it's been seen as messy or unkempt, which then continues to add to the negative stereotypes that people have about Black people, particularly in America.
The representative is the author behind the Crown Act. The acronym stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair.
It lays out explicitly that people of African descent in particular, but really anybody, can't be discriminated about the appearance of their hair.
Look at her hair. If I told you that 100 people had made a negative remark about her hair, and I asked you to tell me the racial breakdown of those 100 people, how many were gliders, how many were hombritos, how many were crouching tigers, how many were sun people? How many do you think of those 100 people that had said something, had seen her picture of her or seen her somewhere and had said something negative about her? How many of those, what percentage of those people would be sun people?
That people of African descent in particular, but really anybody, can't be discriminated about the appearance of their hair.
The State House of Representatives passing the legislation this week with bipartisan support. In 2020, the bill went nowhere in the GOP-controlled Senate. The hope among advocates is that this year will be different.
We have a strong, rich cultural heritage, with part of that identity being related to our hair. And I think however you want to wear it, however you find is comfortable for you to wear it, make sure you show up as yourself.
I'm never cutting my hair because someone else advised me or suggested it. It will be because I wholeheartedly want to.
So, you're not going to take the advice, right? And you still work there. I mean, so basically this whole story was basically summed up with you saying to your supervisors, oh man, thanks for the advice, but nah, I really like my hair the way it is. I'm just, climb the ladder, whatever, whatever, perceptions people have about, my long hair and whether, it's, is suitable for this field or whatever, I'm just gonna, fight through that and, keep doing my thing. Thanks, though. Thanks, guys, for, putting buzz in my ear. Anything else? No? Okay. All right, well, I'm getting back to work. But now we have this a bill and all this crap. Jesus Christ.
So?
I'm never cutting my hair because someone else advised me or suggested it. It would be because I wholeheartedly want to.
The legislation would add hairstyle and texture to a provision in the Minnesota Human Rights Act, which would, among many things, allow for or actually ban discrimination in housing, employment, and education when it comes to hair. So far, 14 states have enacted similar laws against hair discrimination.
Well, with that.
A Bridgeport educator is using some unconventional methods to teach both kids and adults about what he calls the rich history and bright future of the Park City. News 12's Frank Recchia with his story.
As assistant principal at Harding High School, Vernon Thompson uses hip-hop to help reach his students, and a new video he just produced is reaching a lot of people.
Stratford Avenue is known for crime. But for over 50 years, it housed many black-owned businesses.
The video featuring Thompson using music and visuals to connect with both students and adults. It focuses on the rich history of Bridgeport, in particular on former NAACP president Julian Braxton, who used to own a men's shop in the East End. It was torn down to make way for the neighborhood's first big supermarket, which is coming. Thompson hoping his latest production will build awareness about the need for black entrepreneurship at the grassroots level to help Bridgeport grow and thrive.
Stratford Avenue would be a great location to open up affordable opportunities for leasing and business ownership and entrepreneurship. So this is a great place, and we hope as the face of Stratford Avenue changes, entrepreneurship opportunities open for young minority businesses.
Programs. Free stuff. Gives me some free stuff. J.R. Smith talked about this. I know a lot of y'all seen the video. J.R. Smith, the basketball player. What's stopping some people from doing this? Why do they need the government's help to do this? Why do they have to beg the government to take this place and give it to us and give us a bunch of money to start up? And listen, if the government does it, or the local government there does it, or fine. I'm not against it, but it's just these things can be just do it. Like I tell y'all, I went to school, Roots Activity Learning Center, founded in, I think, 1978. Still running today. Afrocentric Learning Center. It's founded by Miss Mama Benita Thompson. She didn't take any donations. She just started the school. Bought a building, started the school. Charged tuition, hired teachers. We make it seem like this stuff is impossible, to do. What he's saying to do why haven't it been done already?
Thompson hoping his latest production will build awareness about the need for black entrepreneurship at the grassroots level to help Bridgeport grow and thrive.
Stratford Avenue would be a great location to open up affordable opportunities for leasing and business ownership and entrepreneurship. So this is a great place, and we hope as the face of Stratford Avenue changes, entrepreneurship opportunities open for young minority businesses.
Coming up at 6, how Thompson is now connecting with key people in the community who are helping him achieve that dream. In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Solidarity in Bridgeport today as Fairfield University students join members of the Black Lives Matter movement in speaking out against the school's decision to remove the Black Lives Matter flag from campus.
The measure that the president took to take that flag down, I think, was a dereliction of his duty and responsibility to help protect the most vulnerable on his campus.
The most vulnerable on his campus. So the most vulnerable people in Connecticut are Sun people? Because of someone other than Sun people. Because you're a BLM activist. So the insinuation is that there's something going on in Connecticut where this flag being taken down is really all you could find for racism. Like, they searched high and low in Connecticut, and this was what they could find. If they could find anything, they got the sister who went on a date, Lauren Smith Fields. She went on a date with the glacier glider guy, and she OD'd. After her brother brought her something up there, and then she went in the bathroom, she OD'd. Everything was fine before her brother showed up. And they rode that for several months. And now that wave has kind of died down because it's clear now that she just OD'd on some drugs she took that he didn't take. So now it's the president of some school taking down some BLM flag. Off to the gun memorial. All right, the gun memorial. And remember, all they can find is the girl who OD'd and this flag being removed at this school. So we know that if we see a Sun person on here, we know who killed them. And, you know, as you guys know, if you see anybody on here, you know who killed them. And yes, it appears that these people are vulnerable, man. But because of who? And I'm sure you know, this is Connecticut. You're 80-something% of the murders in Connecticut. You're like 10% of the population. If they removed that 10 whatever percentage of the population from the state, this much scrolling I've done, we'd probably be down to back in 2003. Back to 1999. But we're only to June of 2021. All these sisters, man, getting shot. Three did. She got killed. God, dog. Overnight shooting. God, no.
Today, as Fairfield University students join members of the Black Lives Matter movement in speaking out against the school's decision to remove the Black Lives Matter flag from campus.
The measure that the president took to take that flag down, I think, was a dereliction of his duty and responsibility to help protect the most vulnerable on his campus.
The students meeting with Reverend Dr. Heron Gaston, who led a recent Black Lives Matter march, they say they're upset the administration ordered a flag be taken down at its counseling center. The students telling us they strongly disagree with the school's official policy of neutrality.
As a future social worker who's graduating in May, I hold a whole set of values and ethics to do no harm. White silence is doing harm, and I don't want to be part of that.
God. Yo, I was against sending social workers to dangerous, volatile, domestic violence and mental health crisis calls instead of police officers. But if she represents what social workers are, send them. Please. Hit one if you agree with me. I'm all for it now. The next violent domestic violence call in a project in some hood somewhere, or the next mental health crisis, somebody high off of PCP or something, having a mental breakdown, please send her and those like her.
As a future social worker who's graduating in May, I hold a whole set of values and ethics to do no harm. White silence is doing harm, and I don't want to be part of that.
To use neutrality as an argument for doing something so baseless is standing with the side of oppressors and choosing oppression over inclusion.
In a statement, the university says Fairfield University encourages our students and faculty to express their views and opinions and fully supports their rights of free expression. We welcome individuals to express themselves with a spirit of humility, inquiry, generosity of spirit, and intellectual honesty and rigor, and encourage our community to engage in the important work we are embarking on around diversity, inclusion, access, and affordability.